for the All-Americans.
And here we see getting out there, Philly trying to make something happen. So that's Fatty right there in the Aztec right there. It's Grant McClellan and Todd Hugo getting taken out of that center. And it's Roberts over there, Pat Roberts on the Snake side. Oh, looks like he almost got Dixon Yang in there for X Factor. And he's looking cross field, but Pat Roberts was taken out. So very chaotic point for both teams, but especially for Philly. Now they looked good, but they lost that second punch. You know, in Rocky, paintball has each point has a different progression. You have different steps. So the first step is, okay, let's shoot well. Let's try to get some kills off the break. Let's get to our bunkers. That's step one. Step two is get in your bunker, stay alive.
You have to
gunfight. And then what happened right there was Philly really, and another thing that's like kind of like an addendum to part two is that while you're doing your gunfights, man, you got to be making moves. You know,
I mean that's when moves.
Make it out to your spot. But as soon as you see an opening, you go, and that's again difference between great and good, difference between winning and losing.
Absolutely, because that window is only open for a brief moment of time.
Yeah.
If you don't dive through it, it's going to shut on you.
So now Fedorov making his appearance for Philly. That was actually Pat Roberts on the Snake side for Philly. And again, you're going to see these teams, they switch sides every odd point. But we're also doing that with the scoreboard for you. So you're always going to see whatever side that these guys are on, you're going to see their name at the top. So in case that you're new to the sport, probably got mostly hardcore guys watching the cast right now. But if you're new to the sport, it's very easy to keep track of who's on what side by just looking at the scoreboard. See him trying to get their boys up right now. It's Jason Edwards. That's Ryan Moorhead, actually. Ryan Moorhead. Now, Jason Edwards has been he's on this squad as well. Big dude right there. And as we're looking at X Factor, but just talking about Jason Edwards. Jason Edwards has really become a preeminent player.
Absolutely.
He started out, it was big dude, good gunfighter, trying real hard, and now it's like he's pulling off 3-on-1s, he's winning 1-on-1s, he's blowing people's heads off the break. He's really, really become one of the best players on Philly. I'd say he's top 1 or 2, and that includes Fedorov, really. I mean, that's how consistent he is. So, yeah, Ryan Moorhead was getting his boys up. You see Tim Montressor right there, and Edwards right behind him in the stripe beanie. And the breakout, X Factor.
They lose one right on the break.
So you see Philly right now trying to spread the field. They got a pretty good spread going on. Oh, right, just looks right out into one. That's Archie. Archie Moneymaker right there at the Aztec. Insert Aztec on the Snake side. So that was Chad George that got shot for Philly. Now, Chad George is a rookie. He's a young guy, young kid, real aggressive. And you could see there in that gunfight just, stuck his head out a little bit too long and got it blown off. Or actually, just kind of got nicked by Archie Moneymaker. Archie coming into notch one of the Snakes, standing up, takes out Tim Montressor. And here comes full field press by X Factor.
And like what we were talking about earlier, sometimes with X Factor, you don't know what game they're going to bring. Right now, it looks like they're just bringing the heat.
Oh, yeah, and exactly. I mean, they're putting it on. It was Todd Morrow running, just blazing down that side. Todd's a big dude, man. He's very aggressive. So he rolled down that side, bunkered the last Philly player, and Archie hangs that flag. Minute and 31 seconds. So a minute 30 seconds before the start of this next point. And Coach Big J Trojan for Philadelphia out there on the field right now going over game plans. He's got to get that momentum instilled in his boys, man, and they got to figure out what's going on here because X Factor's beating him to the punch right now.
And last event, Philly looked really good. They went all the way against Dynasty, but Dynasty, took the win.
Yeah,
but they looked really good.
Event, yeah, they did. They did look really good. And they were doing all the right things, and they were very motivated as we're getting a shot of O'Donnell, Pat Roberts, I'm sorry, O'Rourke. And, it's Ross O'Rourke coming from the Raiders program. And basically these guys, they were at their hometown crowd up at the All-American Park up there. And they played great, man. Again, across the board, guys stepping up. Fatty played great. Brian Moorhead had a great event. Tim Montresor had a great event. So and like we talked about in the Russians that last game, it's like, okay, well, who's playing good? Well, they're all playing good. I mean, you looked at the kill count across the board. It was like 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2. It was just everyone was producing, and that's what it takes. And big breakout, O'Rourke all the way into Snake 1. Or no, sorry, that was
Moorhead, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's Moorhead. No, that's Monville. He's a new guy. Samuel Monville. Let's see if he can produce. You always need your young guys to really produce if you want to win the tournament. So let's see what he can do there in Snake 1. And the referee getting in there and pulling out X Factor player. It was Derek Jordan dying out of Snake 1 as Monville pushing down on the Snake side of the field, trying to pinch out. Looks like Dixon Yang in there. And Roberts is just going to motor down.
Wow, he was off to the races.
So in case you guys are wondering, now you're going to look at Roberts and Fedorov, and they have very similar prancy kind of running styles. And they have, they look very much alike. Fedorov has a pink gun. That's how you guys can tell the difference between Fedorov and Pat Roberts.
Wow, you got to be a man to shoot a pink gun.
A pink gun.
Yeah.
I never really got too much into the pink thing, man. I don't know. That was a big fad, huge for dudes.
Yeah.
In the paintball world. Guys running around pink headbands all over the place.
I've always been into just straight black. Yeah. I like black.
Well, you're punk, dude.
Punk is black. Black is punk.
Yeah, you see him getting over the pit right now. Billy Stoke, they got on the board. Pat Roberts and Monville stepped up, man. So, it's, again, you need young players to produce.
And that's sometimes what you need. Sometimes you need the new guy, to make it happen and get everybody else pumped up.
Yeah. So we got O'Rourke, Montresor, Konstantin Fedorov, Jason Edwards, and Ryan Moorhead, the squad for Philly right now.
I've watched Edwards come up through the ranks. He's a Florida boy.
Yeah, he's a Florida baller. So tell me a little bit about his rise.
Played
for Static?
Played for Static. Then he played with Rage for a little bit. I know there was another team somewhere in there.
Well, he came and tried out for Excessive at the same time that Scott Kemp came and tried out. And he didn't make the squad, but it wasn't necessarily because he wasn't good. He was real good, but at that point, Scotty came out and dominated for that event, for that practice. He made the squad. Wow, we have to pick this kid up or we're idiots.
Yeah.
And that's how Scotty really started to blow his paintball career up when he got on Excessive, as we were hitting under 10 seconds to go for the start's next point. And Edwards, now now he's that good, man. I wish we had picked him up at the time.
Yeah, he's playing out of his skin.
Chad George getting into Snake 1. Immediately knows exactly where to shoot. Oh, penalty. Looks like penalty was on Jason Edwards, so we jinxed him there.
I jinxed my
boy. What
boy.
always happens? As soon as you start talking about somebody, they either get shot or get a penalty or
my bad, Edwards.
Fall, break their gun. So Edwards is in the booth right now.
I hate being in that box.
So Edwards in the penalty box. Chad George making a move up here into Snake 2. Shooting cross field. Oh, and it looks like X Factor just fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mikhail Kovar getting shot out of that back corner. Tim had a great game for number 40 for Philadelphia, and Tim's the leader of that team. He had some really cool stuff to say about the sport and the guys the team that they're playing, and we're going to be bringing you guys a pretty extensive series of interviews tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, check into pbnation.com. one of the most amazing things we have in the sport actually is PB Nation, because that's where everyone gets together, man. I mean, if you have a question about anything, I mean, what size O-ring to put on a bottle? Somebody can answer that question for you on there. I mean,
that's another one.
Their penalties are flying all over the place. Look at Tim's like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, it looks like gun penalty.
Yeah, that was a gun
penalty. Also, Colt Roberts had a minor penalty for talking after he was hit. So Colt Roberts drawing a penalty on X Factor, and now Philly getting a penalty. So it's all tied up at 2 apiece. This is a close match. Tim Still's like, what's going on here, man? And that's Fish, our head referee, right there.
Too fast. The gun's too fast. They got it.
So, wow, so 2 penalties up on the board, it looks like.
Yeah, you don't like that, 2 in the box.
It looked like Colt Roberts had the penalty before, but then they lost the point, so that comes off. So now they have 2 penalties. Okay, so it looks like 2 minor penalties for Philadelphia right now. Yeah, so Philly's starting with 3 guys. 2 penalties. All right, so the breakout right now, that's Pat Roberts getting taken out immediately. So now it's just 2, and screaming down the Dorito side is X Factor and Colt Roberts, who freshly out of the box now. And just Colt Roberts is just feasting down there, and this is it. I mean, that's an incredibly quick point. Dusty Odell going to run that flag, and looks like his knee's good, man. It really hurt them to that was another thing, too. The last event, Dusty had he hurt his knee real bad.
That's right.
That's one of their better players, man. I mean, they're one of those teams that pretty much across the board have talent. But so as we crack the 5-minute mark, 4:52 left to play here in the first half. You're watching X Factor take on Philadelphia in the 4th match of round 2. Tim and Fish are still just arguing back and forth. At a certain point, though, it's like, hey, you want to walk off. Yeah. If you feel the penalty was not properly called and you feel like you're getting screwed, then yes, maybe you do want to, give the ref an earful. I mean, you see it in the NFL, see it all the time. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm a Charger fan, so we watch them lose one of the worst calls I've ever seen. So referees definitely can affect a game. We got some awesome referees out here. I mean, Fish has been on this squad since the start of the NXL. Now he's running the show, and he's very well respected. And paintball is probably the hardest sport to referee, I think, that exists. I mean, I did baseball. I know guys that do football and that also do this too. And it's so fast, and there's so many guys playing at the same time. And but these guys, they've been training to do this for so long time. We can pretty much have a lot of the same crew continuously. So, all right, so the score is 3-2, 4:52 left to play. Minute and 2 seconds left on that penalty. Looking at Jason Edwards right there and Konstantin Fedorov. Again, Pat Roberts and Konstantin Fedorov, they look very similar, but Fedorov has a pink gun. Fedorov's learning English pretty good, man. Fedorov came from the Red Legion, and his rise as a player was interesting because he was so aggressive and was literally running to the 50s off the break, shooting people. And
yes.
if you talk to guys that had trained with the Russian Legion about Fedorov, it was pretty impressive just on, because they keep so many statistics about, okay, if you shoot this size target, snap shoot it 10 times from this distance, how many times do you hit it in such a series, like in a measured amount of time. And he was just heads and tails above everyone else.
Oh, he's just naturally awesome.
Naturally gifted, man. And that's something that's part of his game, though. So Fedorov has to be drilling constantly to continue to have that edge. We have looks like we have a timeout call by the officials. So now we've started the clock, and here we go, just about ready to rock.
Oh, he's doubling that back
So
center.
right now, X Factor rolling their guns, backed up though, in that back center. Alex Martinez is like 45 years old. I'm not even kidding. And at the same time, like, he's a baller, dude. And he owns X Factor, and he really was. It just amazes me, man. I mean, that he's able to play the game at this level. And that's the thing is, like, you talk to a lot of guys, like, he's no slouch, dude. We see him fill in. That's Alex Martinez right there. He's no slouch. Really strong gunfighter, shoots a lot of guys off the break, has good instincts, and is real mobile too.
He definitely doesn't play.
He's not as mobile as, like, say Brett or Archie, but he's really good, man. He's solid. You're looking at Philly right now. Jason Edwards up over the top of that back center, rolling his gun, just uncontested. No one's shooting at him. And out of the box comes Tim Montresor. Immediately right into the game, and they need it, though, because Chad George getting shot, pushing aggressively into Snake 1. Oh, and Fedorov getting chewed up, trying to get out. Thinks he takes out Dixon Yang, though. That's that running and shooting.
Yep, that's what we're
Oh, but Alex Martinez dying off the back as well, and there goes Odell.
Dude, just back and forth.
So Ryan Moorhead stepping up. So 3 minutes and 4 seconds left to play in the first half. The score is now 3-3. It's all tied up, man. Hell of a game, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's going back and forth. Just heads up, in your face paintball. They don't want to give too much. Both teams they're playing smart. The penalty kind of hurt Philly, but I mean, not really, because they just came back and took that point.
Minute 9 seconds. Looking at, I think that's Yosh Rao. Patrick Bateman himself.
So we do have Dynasty and Impact is the next match up after X Factor and Americans.
So far today we've seen Dynasty play Impact. They're going to be our next match. Going to be thrown down here at 12:30. And their first game, it was tough for Dynasty. Impact fought through that first division, the wild card division, and they came out really smashing. And Dynasty took a little while for them to get going. So they ended up losing that game 6-5 in what ended up being a close match, though Impact did dominate in the beginning. Next matchup, Ironman and Damage. Ironman, they came out flat 2 in the beginning, lost the first 2 points, and Tampa Bay Damage, winners of Chicago, trying to prove that they belong here and that wasn't a fluke, but ended up losing to a really strong Ironman squad. And as we about to see the next start of this point, and Oliver Lang was just, he came to play this World Cup. That was amazing what he did that game.
That's one of their chance, win World Cup.
Yeah, just like Rocky said, that's one of the Ironman's chance, win World Cup. All right, but here's the X Factor right now. And penetration up that center from Philly as Pat Roberts making a move. It's just him over here on the snake side of the field, and he's, see if did he dodge that ball? Yeah, he's just trying to push up as far as he can, and it looks like Archie's having gun problems. And here comes Fatty up the Dorito side of the field. Pat Roberts is starting to see his guys streak up that center, so he's going to start wrapping around. And no, that was Mikhail Kovar, and they're having gun problems, and they had to tap out on that point. So X Factor throwing in that flag, pushing the buzzer. So basically how it works in X-Ball, in case you guys are not familiar, it's a race to 9 points or the highest score at the end of regulation. So, and also if there's a buzzer that you can buzz and concede the point, so you save time. So if you're obviously going to lose a point, you hit that buzzer, and then immediately the point goes to the other team. And there's Fedorov right there. It's got to be rough for him, though. I mean, he really came over here and didn't speak a lot of English. It's got to be culture shock coming from Moscow,
absolutely.
And also into a system where, he was a leader on that Russian team. And, it's different. They have tons of coaches, but No, the American style of ball is it's a little bit more organic. You know,
Yes.
you have, guys they don't have quite the huge mechanism supporting them. And of course, the Philly Americans are one of the highest sponsored teams
Yeah, they have
in
a
the sport. Huge deal. The Gardner
franchise.
brothers and Smart Parts really take care of them. But that's the thing, getting a guy like Fedorov. I mean, if I'm Tim or Ryan Moorhead, Tim Montressor, Ryan Moorhead, and Adam came up was like, oh, we got Fedorov for this year, I'd be like stoked,
Absolutely.
But that being said, Fedorov had a hard time kind of adjusting at the beginning of the year, and I don't think that he really had the impact on that team that a lot of the critics thought that he would. The people in paintball, they're like, oh my God, but again, it's not that he's played bad. And he's traveling a lot too. He can only stay in the States for a certain amount of time before he has to go back and renew his
really?
visa. Yeah. Like, he can only be here for a month at a time or something like that.
That's got to wear on you a little bit.
Yeah, and then he's got to fly all the way back to Moscow and then stay there for like 2 weeks and then come back again.
The Gardners need to pull some strings and get
I'm
them
sure they're trying. All right, so close game, 4-3, and we're seeing Chad George get all the way into Snake 1, immediately pop up, start shooting cross field, and Ryan Moorhead on the opposite side of the field. Oh,
no.
Big penalty on Jason Edwards. Again, another penalty on Jason Edwards. Only a minute, only a minor though. Looked like, just only a minor penalty. So that's definitely. Oh, Chad George stumbles a little bit trying to get across, but able to get across. Finally, he gets into Snake 2. Oh, Ryan Moorhead taken out on the Dorito side of the field. So that Dorito side of the field is opened up for X Factor, and Colt Roberts is over there just chopping people down. Cole Roberts is trying to get a shot on Fedorov. Fedorov stuck in that back center. Looks like, I think that was Brett shot out of the Snake for impact.
George didn't see.
Wow, look at this.
X-Factor.
Now Chad George is, Chad, it's a 50s battle, basically. And here comes Tim Montressor realizing what he needs to do, streaking towards the center field, and Tim is going to put it on Colt Roberts.
I love it.
Oh, awesome job by Tim, man. See, Tim's a utility guy.
Yes.
He's like, what do I need to do? Oh, cool. You got the Snake, and Fedorov, you're holding it down over here. I'm just going to cut the seam up the center and do a little old school tree drill, block him out, and then just run him down. So that was a good job. Good job by Colt, though. Everyone died around him, and he was still pressing, still attacking. So Philly taking, that was a hot gun penalty, actually, on Edwards. So Edwards has got to get the gun situation figured out. So they're going to have to start with 4 guys. Still 26 seconds left on that penalty. The score now 5-3. Big shout out to Dan in Iraq. Man, handle your business out there, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing, and just do what you got to do, brother. Do what you got to do.
Get back.
Yeah.
Get back.
All right, so I got another question. Again, you guys can go on PB Nation and ask us questions, and we'll try to get to as many as possible. Obviously, if you ask some stupid question, it's probably not going to get handed to me. I don't have the computer in front of me, and we're filtering them. So ask, important stuff, and here's a good chance that we'll get your question answered. How is the weather affecting this game? This game is not affecting it at all.
No.
The skies, it's not clear. It's still real gray, threatening skies, and the wind's blowing a little bit. But as far as the rain, it's definitely stopped. Now, the field's still wet, but it hasn't quite yet become a bog,
I think.
And the Florida ground absorbs water quickly because you guys
does.
it rains so much here.
It does, and it's good that it's a little bit wet out there. I mean, you could bust out some 6 slides.
Yeah. The one thing you do have to keep in mind when you are playing in the rain is we see Tim Montressor streak. Oh, they called a timeout. So timeout called. Looks like Philly called a timeout.
Yes, they did.
So Philly calling a timeout. Minute and 8 seconds left to play in the first half. Still 27 seconds left, or 26 seconds left on that Philadelphia penalty. So they're going to have to.
Coaches have put in their time. They paid their dues, so they know the game, and then they're just passing on their wisdom to the younger cats. I mean, Shaner's been in the sport forever, it seems like. Yeah, I've known him. He was my one idol, starting out. I looked up to him, and I remember when I first met him. Super cool cat. But all the coaches, for some of the bigger teams. They've been around. They've paid their dues. They know what it takes to win the game at this level. Under 30 seconds.
All right, so 20 seconds. Let's see who they got out there. Todd Hugo. Dude, speaking of, like, old school dudes that are still throwing down, Todd Hugo, man, I think Todd's like 40.
Yeah, he's up there. He played on the old Avalanche squad.
Yeah, you played with Todd Hugo.
Todd. Great player, great player. I was always comfortable when he was playing behind me.
All right, so on the breakout right now, aggressive move up the center for X Factor, and Philly conservative breakout. Really didn't spread the field very much.
They're playing smart. You know, they're only playing with 4 up, so I think they want to kill that penalty. Got about 5 seconds left on that penalty, so he's going to be coming out of the box. And here he comes. He's out of the box.
Yeah, out of the box. So Fedorov able to get out of that box. And Fedorov so is still in the back, and X Factor starting to get chewed up coming out down that Dorito side. Archie is over here on the Snake side.
Oh,
was that a major?
Was that a major on Fedorov?
Did you see a red? Was it a red flag go up?
It was a red flag. It is
red
a major.
flags in the air, definitely on Philly. Looks like it might have been on Fedorov as Archie running that flag in.
These penalties are just killing Philly. That's their, 4th penalty of the match. You know, 3 minors, 1 major that they just got. You can't have those penalties. It's going to come back and bite you in the rear. Let's watch the pit. Maybe we could get a little insight on.
Yeah, let's listen in on the pits. So they're probably going to burn. There has been an 8-second point, but they're probably going to burn that clock off, and then we'll head to the second half.
Hey, forget a barrel back. That's what happened. I'm cleaning my table. And they played this 8 seconds, they ran in and out. Damn it. Do this. Good chance, not even a hit, dude. Look at my hopper. I know. You need that hit. You go, am I hit?
So it sounds like it might have been a hopper hit. That they
hit my hand, dude. It's not a hit on my hand. They called you. Wipe off your goggles. Get your head. All right, guys. Listen. All right, we're right now. All right, kill this penalty. We win the fucking point. Guys, come here. Let's go. Hey, everybody, take a breath, man. Hey, penalties, they're done. That's it. That was last half. That's fucking over.
All right, everybody's gun's good. Are you good? You're not? You have another gun?
Hey, take one. Listen, you guys, everybody, 5-4, all right? Everybody relax, calm down. We got the lead. Hey, fucking play calm. Listen, Jason.
Yeah, so I mean, you're listening to them in there. They're excited. I'll tell you what.
Hey!
Shut up!
Yeah, I mean, listen. Focus.
Have one guy yelling, okay, and then if we can relay it with more guys, but fucking 8 fucking guys standing here just yelling fucking random shit.
Yeah, I mean, they're really excited right now, and they're really like trying to get it up. You got Jay Trojan breaking it down.
Hey, he's staying at the Xbox, right?
Dude, it's so intense. It's crazy. I mean, we got a major penalty.
We're going short.
Yes, I could have fucking seen. I thought I'd make the move.
We need to kill this penalty. There's so much going on. We got to fix our stuff. We need to Ryan Moorhead, trying to get his goggles situated.
It's hectic in the pit.
Because we're stopping short a lot, so then he switches.
And Jason was just telling the guys, listen, instead of 8 guys in the pit yelling different things, let's come together, say what we got to say as a team so you're not hearing a bunch of crazy stuff. It's hard when you got 8 different guys yelling different things at the guys playing out there. It's mass confusion.
Jason, and Ryan, okay? Those 4 guys out there right now.
I need some goggles. Still in the box?
They can't afford any more penalties.
I need a gun, man.
You guys shoot the paint, all right? Keep the paint rolling. We're clipping them, making
And that's what it sounded like they were talking about. They were telling each other, no more penalties. Second half, new game. Start out right, kill the penalties. No more.
You got it, Scrap. 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Do you not know he's at the Xbox?
Well, I knew X, but I didn't know Xbox out, so I looked trying to make the move and get it.
Matt Carter, owner of the team.
We're down. We're killing a penalty.
I got them yelling over here at me.
I understand. You're right. Even if you don't know the guy's there, you can't.
I just thought I could make a move over there and shoot that guy.
I understand that you're down to 2 guys. 3 guys are trying to kill a penalty. You guys, no more fucking penalties. Stay calm and beat these guys.
Adam's laying into him, telling him, listen, guys, no more penalties.
Well, we've only gotten 1 real penalty.
We had 4 or 5.
No, I had 2 hot guns. My gun's going for 240 penalties. What do you mean? They're not real, though. I mean, fucking retarded.
Sounds like they're having some gun problems also. That's what Edwards is talking about.
I had to find a gun, man. I'm coming.
It was rough. I should have stayed, but I tried to make a move again. And he fucking was all finished out.
Minute and 35 seconds before the start of the second half. Score 5-4. And Philly getting killed on that major penalty, which they're going to have to fight through. But they are up 5-4 right now.
120. Apples, bananas.
All right, so Nick Sloviak. That is how you pronounce your last name.
Yeah, you got me. Sloviak, whatever.
Okay, so looking at the kill count for that last half, and break it down for me. What do we got here?
Last half, big moves by Archie running through the middle, getting 3 kills and 1 run through on the Dorito side of the X coming through. Cody Bayless going through on the Dorito side is getting kills. He's mopping up people. He gets in there. He even gets to the Xbox. He's getting kills. On Philly's side,
It looks kind of even almost, though. You know, like you got Montressa Roberts, George, Moorhead, Fedorov, and Edwards all with 3 to 5 apiece. So, I mean, that's pretty much spread across the board.
yeah. They're definitely spread across the board. The one thing in certain Philly is those penalties. Mm-hmm. You know, Jason Edwards has got 2 gun penalties, hot gun, same gun. You know,
yeah,
they just got
from your mistakes. You can't do that. They're killing, and now a major penalty they got to fight through. So, just about to break it down. 5 seconds for the start of this point.
And the game is on.
All right, so on the breakout right there, that's Chad George trying to get in, and Jordan trying to get in for X Factor.
Losing him in the snake.
Derek Jordan, they lost him out of the snake. And here comes Big Phil by Tim Montressor over there on the snake side of the field for right behind Chad George, who's scurrying to the 50-yard line. And
Colt Roberts making it up to D3 on the Dorito side, or
yeah,
maybe
so
he's
he's
at
in
D4.
the 3 over there. Oh, Alex Martinez making a move, retreating backwards, trying to store up the lanes over there. He's got Colt Roberts all the way up on the Dorito side. I probably might have would have gone to that stand-up, though, instead of coming all the way back to the back center. But, yeah, especially now. Oh, Chad George just shooting cross field and
taking out Colt.
Yeah, so you look at there, Pat Roberts is serving that major penalty for the Philly Americans.
I think we got.
And they're going to blow it. So, wow, look at that. Here comes Philly. So, awesome job by Chad George getting all the way onto X Factor's side of the field on the snake and shooting Colt Roberts, who was having a game over there on the Dorito side. He didn't get any kills, though, because there's still 4 guys left alive. So Philly able to take about a minute and 4 seconds off that 3-minute major penalty that they got. So they're still going to have a minute and 56 seconds left to play down a body. They're up 2 points with 13:35 left to play.
Doing good. Just got to take time off that clock. Get that 5th guy back out there.
All right, Nick, thanks a lot. As we head into the X Factor pits, we'll check in with you after the game. Thanks a lot, bro.
No problem, buddy.
sorry. So the score is now Philly. Should be Philly 6, X Factor 4. There we go. Philly 6, X Factor 4. 12 minutes and 46 seconds left to play. Remember, head to PB Nation and throw a question out there, and hopefully we'll be able to answer for you.
I'm missing my break. Man, fucking just. Huh?
I got a really interesting question. What team do we think is using the most innovative playing style? That's a good question. 13 seconds left before the start of the point. Looks like they're kind of lagging, so there might be a timeout call. Yeah, I think they're going to throw a timeout. Yeah, timeout called by X Factor. Timeout called by X Factor, and looks like they were trying to get, I think that Todd Morrow's gun. Yeah, Todd Morrow's having gun problems, so he's going to go back and get another gun. So, okay, so that gives us time to answer this question. Who is, I guess that X Factor has a unique style because they have, I mean, just the way they even look when they play, like the way their body language is. I would say, though, that, Dynasty, like Chuck Swartz on Dynasty is really kind of setting the bar for what a young, aggressive front guy needs to be doing. They kind of have, I think right now the best way that these teams are playing is like, and then look at Impact. Impact has been sending, they'll be sending their weapons in different places. So you got, let's look like Fedorov and Ryan Moorhead. Now it's good sometimes, like let's send Fedorov to the Snake, Moorhead to the Doritos. So you have 2 missiles going in, and then sometimes stack them together on the same side. So it's kind of this hybrid form where, everyone's trying to figure out exactly what works. Some games you have, okay, we got 2 squads and we're going to run that way. Sometimes it's like, no, we're just going to go with 1 squad and you play a position, so the Snake guys will rotate, that sort of stuff. Dynasty last event, they had 2 set squads with Ryan Greenspan and playing both ways a lot of times, and that worked for them. So that was kind of interesting. But that's like, dude, that's ride or die. Your boys playing and stepping up. So like Alex Savino stepped up and Chuck Swartz stepped up, Quincy Boyas. That you really had to get Alex Frazier. Individuals have to step up in that point. Because you're using everybody, so you really have to get a whole consistent, play from every side of your team. Whereas, look at the hybrid line that Infamous ran because they had to in Phoenix, and that worked. So we're still figuring it all out, man. We are still figuring all this stuff out, and that's what's interesting about paintball is that it's evolving so fast. On the breakout.
Big move up the middle by X Factor.
Yeah, all the way X Factor, and that is. That's Pelto, Matthew Pelto, who's new on the team. He's a D2 guy, stepping up and making his appearance here with X Factor. So let's see how he does. He's definitely fast and short and small. He's backed up by Archie.
It's always good to see the new guys step up, especially from D2, and you just jump right in.
Yeah,
that's big shoes to fill, Makes a little bump over to the X.
Also, Chad George. Chad George is hit or miss right now, man. That last point all the way down the Snake, mowing, shooting cross field, taking out Colt Roberts now. He's been shot out of his bunker a couple times. So it's just him over here on the Snake side, and Archie for X Factor. Oh no, and Archie and here comes Pelto. Brand new, stepping up, handling business for X Factor. Backed up by Archie, shooting crossfield, taking out Ryan Moorhead. Wow,
nice
so there we go. Look at that, Pelto, man.
Nice point by X Factor.
Yeah, nice point by X Factor. So pulling within a point.
5-6.
Still 32 seconds left on that penalty. Well, we've seen some pretty close games, man. The only thing that was a destruction was Legion putting it on Infamous. I mean, so far today, that's been the story of the day. Other than Ollie Lang's run-throughs up the center and Legion dominating.
Cody, you're going again, Cody.
Legion looks the best right now out of everybody. because they beat Infamous so solidly. So, like somebody was asking, who's going to win this event? I mean,
It's all up for grabs, really.
It's still up. And honestly, even though Russian Legion didn't come out and pound Infamous, maybe Infamous will come out and pound Russian Legion. Now,
Here!
you know, it's
Cody,
so
you're
hard.
stuck,
I mean,
dude.
honestly, basically, anytime you're coming to an event like this, you got to look at the guys, the teams that have won. And they're always like 2 to 3 to 1. But it's like, you know, in a horse race you're watching, there's like a horse is 2 to 1, a horse is 3 to 1, and then a couple that are like 9 to 1, and then some long shots. We really don't have a lot of long shots here.
No.
Here, I mean, because like, look at Chicago. Would anyone pick Damage to in that event besides Damage fans and local news that are followers?
Exactly.
Not really, honestly. Most people were picking Ironman in that event.
Hey, nope.
Dixon, you know?
No, we're not taking anything away from Damage. They're an awesome team. But when you look at the scoreboard, you know, and the odds, like you said, nobody would really pick them besides our fans.
Yeah,
and
so, but right now, right this second, as it stands from everyone that I've seen play so far today, the teams that look the best are Ironman and Red Legion.
Yes.
They look the best.
Because
these guys have been blowing each other apart. So there's really no clear team here. Obviously, I mean, it's a 1-point match, and we're going to find out who wins in 8 minutes and 50 seconds. But it's so close that at this point, you know, the next time they play, again, best 2 out of 3 for those just tuning in. This is the 2008 PSP World Cup. Matty Marshall got Rocky Cagnoni here. Looks like another timeout called. And yeah, man. So it basically, so far at this event, it's best 2 out of 3. We're into round 2. So we've watched we didn't get to see the wild card division here, but we were all here watching it live, and there was a lot of really good paintball played. But the best paintball was played, obviously, by Impact, Damage, and Infamous. However, really the best paintball was played by Damage and Infamous. So to see Infamous get mowed by Russian Red Legion that bad was surprising.
Very surprising.
Considering that Infamous beat Boston Red Legion in Phoenix to win that event.
Yeah.
Of course, that was the beginning of the year. We got some questions on penalties. Okay, so the penalties break down like this. You get there's a minute and 30 minor penalty, and that's for stuff like you got nicked in your loader, didn't see it, kept playing, and changed the game. You know, you get hit and you're trying to slide. You get hit in your side and you slide in and then maybe try to get a shot off or so, or you're running somebody down. Somebody runs you down and you spin.
Yeah.
That's a minor penalty. A major penalty is like you try to wipe it, you get hit in the goggles and rub it against the bunker. Anything you're rubbing against the bunker, like you're trying to get rid of a hit, or you make a super duper game changing move, like you run a guy down. He shoots you first, and then you run and shoot 2 more guys. That's a major. And the majors are 3 minutes, and the minor penalties, they stay up on the board only until you lose the point or they expire. Major penalties, they stay up for the entire time until they expire. All right, so still 28 seconds left on the penalty. We see Edwards screeching out to the back bunker on the snake side, and got Tim Montressor right there with him. Looking at X Factor, that's Archie, and they rolled that kid again, man. They rolled Matthew Pelto. He ends up getting taken out, though, out of his bunker. I think he made it in clean, but couldn't quite tell from here. So Jason Edwards and Tim both gunned up and around the side of their bunker. And out of the box, finally, Pat Roberts gets out of that major penalty. So the Philly is back at full strength. Into the snake now, Tim Montressor. Eight minutes left here to play. Oh, and they're screaming past Tim goes Jason Edwards.
Little slingshot move. Love it.
Yeah, and Archie getting shot out of his bunker, so here comes Philly. Philly trying to add another point to their lead. Screaming up through the center is O'Rourke, and down the tape is Fedorov. Taking out Todd Morrow, who's in that stand-up in the center.
Oh,
looks like penalty on
X Factor.
That might have been Grayson. I think that might have been Grayson over there. Wow, his whole side is just completely covered in orange paint.
That's what they really don't want right now. So, you know, time's running down. You don't want to get penalties towards the end.
So Cody Bayless and Todd Morrow over there. One of them got a penalty, it looks like. Couldn't tell which one. As soon as we find out, we'll let you guys know. You see their pits. They're talking it over right now. Yeah, it was a minor penalty. So, yeah, so a minor penalty. So, but you can see them arguing over there. See Jason Edwards out there with Fish, the referee. They're discussing something. Might have been on, not have been on Philly then. It definitely might have been on Philly, even though I'm looking over and I see Cody Bayless with a ton of hits on him. So maybe he spun, couldn't quite tell. Penalty flag definitely went in the air. See Tim Montresor in there.
Oh, I believe it was on Philly.
Was?
If you listen to the penalties,
let's listen in and see what they have to say. All right, I guess we're going to cut back out, and we're looking at X Factor getting ready for the next point. So yeah, so far Jason Edwards has had 2 gun penalties, and we're still don't see a penalty on the board yet. So as soon as I see who that penalty is on and which team, I'll let you guys know. And you know, again, each odd point, these guys switch sides. So they play a point, and then they switch sides. They play another point till they get to 3, then they switch sides again. You will know what side of the field the guys are on by the scoreboard. So the score is 7-5. 6 minutes and 6 minutes left to play in this game.
And it looks like they might have pulled the penalty away.
I think that. I guess there's no penalty because both teams started strong. I don't see anyone in either box. So I guess somebody talked somebody out of a penalty. Big moves by Fatty over there on the Dorito side for Philly. As looks like Colt Roberts getting chewed up trying to get out on the Dorito side. Dusty Odell. You're looking at Pat Roberts there after he served that major penalty. So Philly's been plagued with penalties. Oh, here comes Fatty. Whoa, hell of a run-through by Fatty. Awesome job, and he's pretty much just finished everyone off. No, wait, that's McClellan. I think that's Grant McClellan. Pretty sure that was Grant McClellan just on fire over there. So hell of a job by Grant McClellan.
With that point, it makes it 8-5 Philly.
Wow, that was impressive. Very impressive run through up that center.
Now going back to that minor that got taken away, that usually doesn't happen.
That's true. Let's look at the pits here. X Factor, see how they're looking. Are they intense? They look flat. Colt looks like he's in shell shock.
He's got to pump up his players.
Or maybe he's focused. I'm not really sure. I can't tell. I can't see his face, but you know they're down 3 points, which is they got 5 minutes left. They're down 3. But Philly is 1 point away from victory right now. In case you guys are just tuning in, you're unfamiliar with the X-Ball format. It's a race to 9 or the highest score at the end of regulation. So Philly's 1 point away from taking this game.
How do you think they're going to play this next point? You think they're going to play it Philly style
I don't know.
and wait, or are they going to go at them?
What scares me, I mean, at least I like both these teams, and I respect both these teams, and they're really cool guys. But I'll tell you right now, if I was an X Factor fan, I'd be kind of scared. Because after looking at them in that pit and watching these guys come out here right now, you know, they're not like, and maybe that's just their thing, you know, but if that was me and we're down 3 and we're 1 point away from getting killed and we still could come back and score 3 points easily in 5 minutes, I would be real adamant about that. Hey, get out there, you do your job, bro. I got your back, you get my back. Hey, handle that snake side, bro. You know, whatever it is, like, get in their heads and try to pump them up.
You have to. I mean, you got to. This sport is about moves and aggressive, nature. You got to pump each other up. We're men with testosterone and markers in our hands. So, it all works well together. Under 5.
To see Phillies break out. Trying to get Chad George to the snake. Gets shot in the leg. He's got Tim Montressa right behind him. They're doubled up in that back center. You see on the X Factor side of the field. Oh, it looks like Archie got shot.
Ooh, that was almost a penalty.
Mikhail Kovar, though, able to get into Snake 1. That's what you're looking at on your screen right now, Mikhail Kovar.
And they pull him.
Oh, and a penalty on Kovar.
Oh.
Again, just like look at what just happened. What do we say about X Factor? Look kind of flat. Didn't really look like they knew what was going on, and they go out there and get smoked down this point, and that's going to do it.
And that is it. That is the match.
So Fedorov is getting the once-over from Moorhead. As you see, Tim Montresor, the leader and captain of the Philadelphia Americans, must be really happy right now. I would be very happy if I was Philly. It was a very close match, but then as soon as we started getting deep into it, Philly just took off and ran with it. The final score is going to be 9-5 in favor of Philadelphia.
Philly's looking good. I mean, even with all those penalties, they still they look tight. Now, if they could just 86 some of those penalties they got in this first match, I think it'll be all right.
All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. Next up, we got Dynasty taking on Impact in a must-win game for Dynasty. If Dynasty loses this game, they're going home at 12:30 on the first day of their play. So I'm sure they're going to come out firing on all levels.